Okay, let's talk about door knocking. For this section, let's go ahead and start fresh. And let's see, who are we going to door knock? Let's get our list together. Mortgage rates. We'll stay on the mortgage rate bandwagon. We'll apply it. And again, this strategy is one that I don't necessarily use too much because I'm not the biggest door knocker out there. So that's full disclosure. If you're doing this already, and if you're already operating at a high level when it comes to door knocking, you will absolutely be able to school me in every sense of the word. So that is my full disclosure. What I want to accomplish here is just demonstrate a few tools that you could pair with door knocking and Remind, and essentially how to get Remind to work for you in that respect. And so you can be a little bit more efficient with your time, spend a little bit less time walking and a little bit more time actually speaking with somebody that would be apt to your message, or would be more receptive to your message overall. Okay, we'll stay with this 6% plus interest. And how many? We have 95 results. So the simplest way that I can think of doing this would be getting the snippet tool, taking a snapshot, and just printing that. And this way you have something in front of you, you know the properties that are more inclined to listen to you when we're talking about the 6% and above mortgage rate that they have. Now the downside to this is that you don't get their contact information. So that's very important to have as well if you're speaking to them. Or maybe it's not as important. Maybe I'm overstating it, but you don't get the additional information, like for example, the owner of the property. Another filter that you need to be careful about is applying the owner-occupant filter as well. This way, you know that you're speaking with the actual owner that is living in the homestead or living in the home, and you're not speaking to the renter, unless you certainly want to spin it into a positive. Because even though you know that mortgage has a 6+% interest and you're speaking to the tenant, well, that converts into a buyer. But again, the strategy is more having your script ready, having yourself ready to speak with somebody that has a high probability to have at least a 6% interest rate, and really guide them through some solutions on how to, lower that interest rate now that there's an opportunity to do that with the interest rates being as low as they are. So again, you can take that snapshot, you can take the snippet tool and get at least a visual representation of the properties that you want to knock on. But what I would suggest, if you want to automate it and do a bit more, provide some, more of a technology focused way of doing it, what I would do would be, I would track all, that's 84, go over to the track, select all, download the property, and then again start with your zip code, and this one was 6+%. Let's see, 6 and homestead. Then while I wait for the download, I wanted to show you a few tools that may make your door knocking a little bit easier. Now, on this one, again, I haven't used these tools in the past, but as I was researching in preparation for this course and searching through forums, searching through Facebook groups, Google, and everything of the like, Polis and Spodio came up. Now, as I was going through here, what was most important for me was being able to upload the contact list. They'll map your route and you'll be able to take notes and everything else like that, and ultimately connect back to possibly your CRM. Just depends on the CRM that you have. I know for a fact that Spodio does that. They have some integrations here towards the bottom. And what's very important for us is going to be the pricing. So let's just go to the pricing real quick. Now, these are some apps that you can put on your phone. Again, everybody is doing things differently. You may not be the app person, or you may be all about the apps. Depending on where you fall, that's whatever's easiest for you. You have the short list already, and you have the information in front of you. If you're going to door knock and you want to be as efficient as possible with your time, then I strongly suggest starting with Remind, and really saving you so much time and have the types of conversations and guide the conversation where you're wanting it to. But if you're more of the mindset that I'm going to take this block and I'm going to take this neighborhood and I'm going to knock on every single one of them, that, you know, at that point, I guess you don't necessarily have too much room for Remind if you're going to be doing that door knocking and you know, identifying everyone's situation that way. But if you're wanting to drill down a little bit further and only knock on properties that have net equity or a certain amount of net equity, have a certain interest rate, so you can have that type of conversation, that have a high sales score, that are more likely to sell in the next 12 months or in the next year, this is where you're going to start. You're going to pull in the list. And again, the simplistic way of doing it is just taking a snapshot and a screen capture of the properties that you know that you want to call on that particular day, that you want to go and knock on the door on that particular day. You at least have a visual representation, and you're able to knock them out as you're going. You're able to cross them out as you speak with the properties. Now, this page, as soon as you print it, and once you're done, it's going to look completely different than this with all of your notes. If you're more the taking an address and following that address, then this is what you do. I know that there's some phone providers out there that will help track your map out your journey. You can certainly do it that way. I believe AT&T does it I know AT&T does it, so you may want to reach out to them and see if they can help you out with this mapping feature so you can map out your route. But since it's your farm, I don't necessarily see you getting lost or finding the most efficient walking route, but you never know. So again, if you're going into the apps, then Polis, let's go look at the pricing real quick. For businesses, this is an option. Best for teams, best for large teams, best for small teams. You have a $19 a month. You can put notes, I'm assuming. There's some integrations. Again, what's most important for me when I was researching this was the ability to import the list, because we have the list. We have the people that we want to go speak to. So that's this app certainly allows for that, or the software allows for that, and Spodio does as well. Now we're on the pricing side. Up to 2 users, basic, $25 a month. Again, if you're the app person, I'm sure there's other apps that are not industry specific like these two that you may be able to leverage. Something that I did want to draw your attention to was the Cloud CMA. A lot of the associations already provide that for you. So if you weren't aware that you can have the Cloud CMA either embedded on your website or have it handy to where you type in the property's address and spit out a CMA, then I did want to make you aware of that Cloud CMA is available. Now, again, most associations have it, and the reason I wanted to highlight it in this section was because if you're in front of a prospect, if you're in front of somebody that is wanting to know the value of their home, you can speak in generalities, most certainly, because you know your farm, but there's a different level of service and a different just a different presentation if you can provide them an instant CMA, and Cloud CMA does that. Now, if you're with the larger brokerages, I understand that there's other softwares that are either provided for you or they have their own in-house software that may not be Cloud CMA. So Cloud CMA, it can be used by anybody and everybody that's with their respective associations. Again, mine is MetroTech, so yours may have it or it may not. I just know that this has really helped out when I'm trying to capture leads from a home valuation standpoint, because I'm not with the larger brokerage and I don't have a lot of the resources and tools that the larger brokerages do. So anyway, that is the door knocking section. What's most important is starting with that list, finding the best way that you're able to go and get in front of these properties, get in front of these addresses so you can have that meaningful conversation.